Hello friends, this is Cara-Renee with B.Reborn Art and Healing, coming to you with episode 3 of our Junk Journal Page Ideas series. Really enjoying this. I love to be able to think about ideas as I'm moving through my day when I'm at work and I'm just hanging out or whatever. I think a lot about what I want to come up with. So I have another idea, as well as I introduced another kit into the boho journal kits that I'm using. These papers are from Rach and Bella Crafts. I did a bohemian. I was part of a collaboration a while ago. I think not last year, maybe even the year before. I'm not sure. And I stumbled upon these digitals on my computer. So I thought I was going to give them a try and see if there was anything in there that resonated with me. So I picked some of my favorite papers. So I'm going to just move this pile out of my way so I can show you this piece. So this is the journal page. So again, we're creating on a journal page, doing a page idea. And then what I did is I took 2 envelopes and I'll show you how I did it and what I did, but this is what we've got. So these are the papers from Rach and Bella Crafts. I just realized I did not pull any new envelopes, so I'll have to get up and do that before we get going. But the way it's going to work is you can either put it on the front page like this. That would actually be kind of cool. Or you can put it on the inside like this. Okay. We're going to do the one we're going to do today on camera. We're going to do on the opposite side. We're going to have it flipping out the opposite way. We're going to have it flipping out this way. So when you work on it, you're going to want to be mindful of the direction of your paper. So I'm just debating on this. I'm not sure that I like that. I feel like it's very plain. And so I think I am going to put it on the front of this. So I thought I would just do this with you on camera, and then I'll show you the template so you guys can see what I did. You'll have to see my ghetto notes as well. So I'm just going to use my Fabri-Tac here. Now, the only thing I did different from the measurements that I'm going to show you, which I will talk about as we go through this, is that I did have to shorten these envelope flips, and I'll show you that in a second, because of the way that this turns in on the page. I wouldn't have had any room to put any kind of tab or anything on my stuff, which I love to do, as you know. Now, one could have left that and like only glued it here and had that be a tuck, but I'm not doing that today, obviously. But when I initially did my measurements for this was about another, I wish I had kept that scrap. I believe I cut about another 1/2 inch off this edge, because when this closes, you want to be able to have a tab stick out here, and I would not have had that opportunity. So that's what I changed from my my measurements, but we'll talk about that. So this is a pocket. Sweet. I don't love that there's, white showing, but it's a junk journal. So I did on this one, I put a vellum pocket. I used my really heavy duty vellum, and I really like how structurally sound it is versus regular vellum. And then this envelope, so this is one envelope, okay, and this is another envelope. So there's 2 envelopes involved, and then these ones are a tuck. Oh, that came unglued. So we've got a pocket here, and we've got a pocket here, okay? So let me just glue this before I forget. I'm not sure what happened there. And then we will get on with talking about the template that I created, so that hopefully it will make sense to you. But I'm going to go grab those envelopes first, because I actually tried several and I cut them wrong, and so I didn't bring any more in here. So I will be right back. Okay, I am back. These are the envelopes I'm using. I grabbed a whole stack of them. They're actually out in my living room because I've overflowed out of the studio. So these are the envelopes we're going to use. The envelopes measure 5 5/16 by 7 1/4. Obviously, you could use any size envelopes you want. So yeah. So this is the first envelope right here, which is the one that we cut. So this piece and this piece are all one envelope. And I've done this effect before, but I added this extra thing in there. So I thought that was really cool. You could actually even add more. So that's pretty exciting. You could do yet another one and kind of have a cascading look here. But then this is another envelope, okay? So what I did is these measure, obviously, they're not, oh, the whole envelope is 5 5/16. Let's see what this measurement is. I did not get that. So that is just over 3.5. So the width of these two pieces are 3.5 by the 7, or by, not 7 1/4. Goodness gracious. By 5 3/8. So I'm not sure where I got that measurement. And this one on the envelope, I just cut off, it should be 4 1/4 inches from here to here. And part of that is the hinge. So that's going to make more sense when we get going here. So let me set this aside so it's not in the way. Sorry for that waffling. Yeah, I'm not going to keep saying it. I'm still off. I'm still not feeling well. And that's it. So I have a bunch of stuff here for the Romance in Paris journal. I did purchase another kit for blue backgrounds. I mentioned in the previous video, I wasn't super happy with the ones I picked. So I wanted something a little bit more pastel-y blue. So I did find something that worked out fine. I don't have it on the tip of my tongue right now, but I will link them below in the description box. I set this one aside for tabs. So I'm just going to put that over there. This is various ephemera that we're going to be using. I think this was going to be a card, and we will work on that together. I have a whole bunch of background papers here. These are all from the new person I purchased from. I just bought them this afternoon, so I did not even jot them down, but they're absolutely gorgeous. So I thought we could decide together what we want to use. So I'm going to set those aside so we can do the construction of the envelope. So again, you need 2 envelopes. So I basically just went like this, okay? And what we're going to do is let's just take this up here so that we can see. You can tell which way I flipped this by that. So I cut off from the bottom of the sealed edge of this envelope, okay? So I'm hoping that is making sense. So we're just going to line this up here. So this fold I'm lining up with, whoops, not that. Oh, goodness gracious. Let me see what I'm doing here. Yes, like that. So this is going to butt up there, but we're going to be cutting this off because we only want a hinge. So we're going to cut off, let me just show you my measurements again. This measures from this fold here to the end of the envelope measures 3 7/8 inches. So that's what we want to have here. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to open that up, and I'm going to make a mark at 3 7/8. And that, again, you could adjust at will depending on what you want yours to look like. So I'm going to turn to my cutter and I'm going to cut this off, okay? But while I'm here, I'm also going to take about 3/8 of an inch. I'm hoping you guys can see this okay. I moved the camera up a little bit, and we're going to just we're going to cut this at just 3/8 of an inch. So this whole piece is going to come off of this envelope, okay? So let me do that really quick and I'll be right back. You can certainly save these pieces. They'd make great pockets. So we're going to just set that aside, and we are ready to move along. So I found it easiest to go ahead and glue this on before I actually started messing with slitting this, because then I had this barrier here that helped me. So we're going to put glue on the back of this hinge right here. Probably should crease that out a little bit. There we go. So, and the other one I turned this way, so I'm debating because I like seeing that on the top for gluing purposes. I guess it doesn't really matter. I think I am going to do that. Again, it does not matter. You could turn it the other way and go like, no, not like that. Like this. Just like this. Scratch that. Rewind. So I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac that is dripping for some reason. Let me get that cleaned off there. I probably need to grab a paper towel too. I am ill prepared. Okay, so we're just going to put some glue on here. And the reason why I'm using the Fabri-Tac is, as always, it just allows me a little bit more forgiveness and an ability to move this around to get it exactly where I want it. So what we're going to do is we're going to place it right on that fold. Okay, and then just I spy that you're even on top and bottom, and then we're just going to close this. Okay, and then we're just going to let that set for a moment. Now, one could also, just while we're thinking about it, is you would not necessarily even have to do a slit here. I just have done it before and I really liked the look, so we're gonna keep on with that. So I'm just gonna open that back up, and there you've got it. So that is all the cutting that you have. You basically had two cuts. You had this cut and this cut. Now we will have more, but in terms of construction itself, we're good. Okay, so now you want to flip this way, and we're going to find the center of this area. So that's why I had my zero gravity ruler out, and I'm just going to find the center here. And I know, because I've been working with the envelopes today, that we are right here. So we're 2 1/4 and then another mark. I can't read this ruler, so that's my finite understanding of the process. So we're just going to make a mark here, okay? And then I'm going to draw a line up to, let me move those out of the way. I'm going to make a line just up to here. And then we're going to cut on the either side of this line up to this next envelope. So I'm just going to make that mark. Okay, like that. I always find this tricky to do. It does not have to be perfect. I did try to go like just barely off to one side and then go straight up. Okay, just so I'm just on the right side of that pencil line. But as always, you know, perfection is not at play, so don't worry if it's not exactly perfect. You do want it to go all the way to that fold though. Okay. And this one's always harder for me because I can't see my pencil line for my scissors, but we're just going to go for it. We're just going to go for it. Okay. There we go. I'm just going to clip that little bit off. That worked out pretty good. So there's what you have. Okay. So now we've got our slit. I love it. I love it so much. Okay. So, but I'm wondering, since we're here, would we like to put another one on here? We could totally put another one on here and go a little bit more. So let me put my finger there. It's not going to really show though, which is a problem. So I think if I ever did this again, which I am going to make another boho one off camera, I might make this one a little bit taller, and then I could play a little bit more with that. But you can't go any wider than this. And the reason why is because this right now is 5 1/4 inches, which is the width of most of my journal pages in every journal. So we're not gonna experiment today. So now our task is to cover these. So I printed all of these papers on my 32 pound paper. You could totally do it on 20 pound. I just really like this paper. And so again, this is the paper that I just purchased. So I'm just going to flip through this really quick just so you can see the tones. They're just absolutely love that script. This at Particular Digital is actually, it was 2 kits from the same maker, but one of the kits had 12 by 12s as well. And but you can just make it fit to 8.5 by 11. It's really, really cool. And then I love the stripes. And is that the same, oh, that's the same one. I think I didn't print enough, and so I went back and printed 2 of everything just so I would have it. And I just love this tone and that tone. And there's those words which we're using for some of the ephemera, and I think that's a duplicate as well. So let's see what we want to do. So I'm not really sure. I'm going to set that. That's a maybe. This is a for sure. This is a for sure. And this is a for sure. So, and this is a maybe as well. So let's just start with those few, and then we will grab as we need to. I do, as usual, have my cutter over here to my right. I had it over to my left, but it was really not natural for me to turn that way. So I bought a little table that's just wide enough to fit my trimmer, and I can just roll it away, pull it towards me and roll it away. So I always find a way. So I'm going to be doing these the way that I always do, which is kind of what I call the cheat way, or the lazy way, or the smart way, depending on how you see it. So let's think about what we want to do now. We don't need to put any paper on this because it's going to get glued down. So here we are, and I'm just debating on whether or not I want to have this whole thing be the same paper. So I'm not sure. And I'm actually thinking I'd like it to be this rose paper. This rose paper right here. Actually, I don't want it to all be the same. I think I'll use the bigger flowers here. So we're going to just, again, the kind of the lazy way is just I line this up to my base, and then I make a pencil mark here. Not there. I need to move that down so I can see. So move it down so that you can see the top of your top edge. So this is the edge of that first envelope. So I'm going to go just a little bit to the left of that, and then I'm going to move it back up, and we're going to get the bottom. So again, I have to move it over so that I can see what I'm doing, and then we will do that as well. So I'm going to turn to my cutter and just cut that piece really quick. So I think we're going to just start cutting everything so that I don't have to keep turning. I don't want to ink, and yeah, I think I'm going to, well, maybe we'll do it this way. Maybe we'll just glue as we go and ink as we go. Sorry, for the waffling. So I am going to ink this up because, again, the brown and the blue are absolutely delicious. While I'm doing this, I will talk to you a little bit about the At the Beach journal. I'm going to be finishing that journal off camera because we are, we're already in fall, and so I need to get that done. So I'll be just working on that myself. Is that straight? It looks like it's not. It's not. Yeah, it's binding, so I don't know what happened. I'm going to trim just a smidge more off of that. It's okay. We just need a little bit off. We just don't want it to bind there on that fold. So, is that better? Yes, that is better. So, if you're new to this, you want to make sure that you do not glue this shut, okay? This is a pocket. So we're going to put our Fabri-Tac here, and then we're going to put some of the white glue, which is Barely Arts for me, along here. So let's do that. I always start with Fabri-Tac because it dries on the surface here, the base, slower than the white glue. So, okay, and then our white glue. So I'm going to turn this just so I don't put my hand in that Fabri-Tac, and I'm just going to run a bead of glue along this edge. Now, you could also put it on the edge of your paper. It's totally up to you what you prefer, and then I'm going to flip this again. I know that that bothers people, so my apologies. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. So I'm just going to place that down, and again, the Fabri-Tac allows you time to wiggle and adjust. So I'm just going to rub that glue out. there we go. That is our first panel covered. So I was thinking about using this here, but I don't know, roses to roses I think maybe is not the answer. So let's get this striped paper out. Oh, isn't that so cool? Oh, I love it. Now this one I do, again, I do the cheat way. I glue it on and then I will cut around because I do not like to try to figure out the size on the flap. So this is the way I do it. So I'm going to put my Fabri-Tac on the flap itself. We'll see about decorating this on camera. It just kind of depends on how it goes. This is kind of a labor-intensive project, so I don't want to commit to that, and I need my videos to be shorter, so I don't have much time tonight. So there we go. Just let that set for just a second. I mean, I have the stuff to go in the pockets, but in terms of, you know, the little extra frou-frou-y bits that I always like to put on, I might have to do off camera. So I'm just going to cut around this. And just that little bit around the curvature here. I'm not a very good fussy cutter, so it's not my forte. Okay, just ink that. Look at that. Oh, it's so cool. I am so tossed up about whether or not I'm going to give away the boho journal or the Romance in Paris journal. I think I have a mixed vote on that. Okay, so again, that doesn't have to be covered because it's glued. It's going to get glued down. So I'm just, you know, pressing that out a little bit. Okay, so let's go ahead and cover this side. Now, we don't have any pocket stuff to worry about there. And again, if this bothers you, you could put something, printed something on the back. It doesn't bother me. So what do we want to do here? I actually think this would be kind of cool if we did a whole page here. What do you think? What do you think? It would be easier than trying to cut around all that, except that's really problematic. That's hard. But this would also be cool if we just made this seamless. And I did this in my prototype one, or my boho one. Let me show you that again. So what I did here is I made sure that I kept that seamless other than the cut of the envelope. So I think I'm going to go for that look with these flowers as well. I'm thinking that that's the best, or maybe we want to do the script. Do we want to do, I think I want to do the script instead. Yes. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to first put this in place here along this edge. Okay. Not butting up completely up into that area, but just below it. We will need to, actually, should we trim these first? I think we should trim these first. So in my original, again, in my original measurements on that template, this was the length I was dealing with, but we need to take another 1/2 inch off. So let me make a mark, and I'm going to turn to my cutter and do that right now. Actually, I'm thinking about 3/4 inch because it gives me more room for a tab. So I think I'm going to do that, except how about 5/8? Somewhere in between, right? So I'm just going to turn to my cutter and cut through that whole thing there and just make those a little bit shorter. So then we don't have to worry about trimming that. We can cut the paper so we have a little bit of a brown edge now, rather than having to cut that edge off after it's covered. Hoping that's making some sense. So we're going to try this again, and we're going to go almost to that fold, and then we're going to make a mark here. Pencil's coming undone. Okay, and I'm going to go just short of it because I like that brown edge. So I'm going to just make a cut all the way up the paper here. So what we want to do is now we're going to cut this, or we're going to mark this top edge of the bottom flippy out thing. And again, leaving a little bit of a measurement there. Now, before I do that, rather than going back and forth to my cutter, I'm going to just move this. You know what? I better do that. I better not shortcut this. I'll be back. My brain is still not firing on all cylinders, so I don't want to mess this up for you guys. So there. So now when I cut this one to size, I'm going to cut off the top so that this is seamless. Okay. So we're going to just do the same. We're going to put this up here. And I'm just making it again so that I can see this edge over here to make my mark. I'm sure you guys have seen me do this before. So I'm going to just cut that as well, and then we'll be ready to glue this on. You know what we should do is we should cut the backs at the same time because we already have our measurements. Wouldn't that be smart? That was a little much ink there. Oh well, that's okay. I think we are going to do that. That's smart, right? So I think what I'd like to do is go ahead and use the rose fabric on the backs. So let me grab that really quick, and we're just going to make sure if you've got directional paper that you're mindful of the direction so that you don't have a bad surprise. It's not the end of the world, but if that's not what you're going for, it can be disappointing, I must say. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm just going to bring it down here and do another one. Of course, you could do it the math person's way and measure it, but I'm not a math person, so, and I don't pretend to be. So I'm just going to make that mark because I already have this mark. So let me just trim that down, cut those in half. So that was nifty and smart. I didn't make these ones seamless, but you know, one could have. I didn't even think about it, honestly. So let's go ahead and start gluing. So I know this is the bottom because this was the over inked part that goes at the top, and you can see that we have a continuation here. Even though there's that break, I can see that that's the way it's going to go. So this is the same thing. We have to guard this area, so we're going to put Fabri-Tac here and here, a bead of Bearly Arts here and here. If you find you didn't get the glue far enough, it's not a big deal. You can just kind of stick your nozzle in there and get it later. So that's what I do. A little bit of white glue here. Okay. Sorry for the flipping and flopping. Oh, that was top, wasn't it? Yes, that's top. We want this one. Oh, we need some here, Cara-Renee. Goodness gracious. Maybe that's why my other ones didn't stick. I didn't think I put glue there. Oh, you know, the things we realize when we stop and think. Now, why is that paper crooked? Why is that paper crooked? It's just the right size though. So I'm not going to fret about that. Looks like we're hanging over a little bit. So let me just give that a trim. My cutting must not have been entirely right on. So I'm going to do this one in similar style. I know what I did. I needed to put glue on this whole edge. That's why my thing was opened. Craziness. That will set here in a second. I put this panel on. Boom. I love using envelopes, in case you guys didn't know that. It's one of my favorite things. So this one, same thing. That's why we've got this piece open that we had open on the prototype that or the boho one. So let me just put a little bit of glue in there. Not a big deal. Okay. There we go. So we're going to flip her over, put the papers on the back. And I wonder if those, did they end up being seamless? You know what? They did. Look at that. I did not even do that on purpose. I didn't think about it, but it worked out. Why are they smaller? What the what? How is that possible? Look at how much smaller they are. Okay, well, we're going to roll with it because that's all we got to do. Okay. Make sure your direction is right. And I'm just not going to fret about that extra brown there. That was not, I don't know why that happened, but it did. And you guys might have seen what happened, but I'm not going to worry about it. I am going to try to even it up though, so it doesn't look completely strange. And we'll ink up those edges of the envelope in a second. So let's do the same here. Now this one is not, I must have just did something wonky on that one cut. Goodness gracious. So I know I have, I've been saying, you know, I'm going to go back and watch videos from different creators that I've saved them in my playlist and stuff, and I just haven't been doing it. I will, I promise you I will, but when I'm not at work or I'm not cooking a meal, I am usually resting, sleeping. I'm not watching TV, so I will catch up. I save them all so I don't lose track. So that worked out really well. Look at that. You can see it, the seamless, even though we've got that bunch of brown. Oh, irritating. Let's ink that up. Get rid of that little bit of white. That's a bummer. I just must have did something really wrong there, obviously. So you could have inked your envelope first as well, but I don't worry about it because you can always come back and do it at this point. So that is that. Look at that. Oh. Oh, I love those tone on tones. Look at that. So, so beautiful. Okay, so we only have one more panel, and that is this one. So I think I actually want to use that rose fabric. I do, if I can. Nope, I can't. That's not big enough. Let's see if I've got another piece. I believe I do in my stack, which is usually why I print two, because I will use all this. This is printed on lighter paper, so I can definitely use up this lighter weight paper. So, alrighty, so I am going to cover that. So beautiful. Go the right way though, Cara-Renee. So I'm not going to shortcut. I'm turning this all the way around, guys. I don't know why. I don't know why. She swallowed a fly. I don't know why. Okay, there we go. So we're going to do the same thing. Let me just mark and cut, and I will be right back with you, and we'll move on to what we're going to put in all of these pockets. Just got a big glop of glue farther than I wanted it, so I'm just going to wipe that really quick right here. I don't want anything sticking that I don't want, so we're going to, again, watch your direction. And I'm just going to place that on there. That measurement worked out really well. I probably shouldn't have cut those other ones and matched them to this. I don't know why they'd be different, but they clearly were. Okay, and then you just always want to be making sure that when you've done that gluing bit, that your pockets are intact. So let me grab my metal ruler so that we can check these and make sure that all is well in Blue Land, Romance in Paris land, which is a beautiful place. Okay, there we go. We're good. Now one could also notch those. I'm not going to notch them. So that is all that needs to be covered, guys. So let's go ahead and look at what I've selected to possibly go in the pockets. So let me get that out of the way. And I've got these little ones that I felt like would go, but they're kind of smallish. I was trying to resize these so they'd fit, but look at they're too small. So unless I just put a whale tail tab, and I don't know, I'm not happy with that at all. I was having trouble figuring out the right size, so I might not use these. I might save these, and I might just have to stick something in there off camera into those pockets, because I don't really have the luxury of printing while I'm filming. So let's I'll come back to that in a sec. So I like this map one that's in that new kit that I talked about, and I thought it would be fun to put in this pocket. So I'm going to obviously have to trim it down. I did print it 2 to a page, so it's at least smaller, and I don't want to lose this writing here, so I'm just going to mark here and here and the same here, so we can kind of get an idea of the height and the width. So I'll be right back. Okay, so there's, oh, that's a beautiful card. Look at that. I think it's too big. What is wrong with my measurements? Oh, maybe it's not. Oh, it's perfect. Okay, so that's that card. So let's get my whale tail punch out. I almost got my dies out and did a bunch of them in different sizes, but I didn't have the energy for that today. So I will be needing to do that soon so that I have stuff for tabs for this journal. So I think I'm going to use this music paper, which we did not use in this project, but we are going to make some tabs out of this and another one. So let me cut some of these really quick and I'll be right back. Hoping I'm not making whale tail punches with pieces that I was going to use for ephemera. I don't think so. But I'm thinking again about these. So give me a second here, because I feel like if I put a whale tail punch on top and I stick it out like that, I'm going to use a paper clip because I need to see if this is going to be too tall, which is easier to just do this way. So if I do that and that sticks up there, and then this closes like this, I just need to see how much that's sticking out. Oh, that will be fine. So I think we're going to use them. They're not quite tall enough, but I think we're going to go with it. So yes, let's do. So let's start with this one. I actually feel like I need a different color for this now because it looks kind of weird. Maybe we'll just cut one more and turn it around and use the tea stained part of it, side of it. I just don't really want blue on blue. I think that would look silly. So let's just start with that. I re-inked my ink pad, so it's really nice and juicy and delicious. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put that on here, and I'm just going to try to center it, as I say. I just do my best, and I don't worry about the rest. Do your best, and don't worry about the rest. Oh, we need to ink at least this top edge initially. I think my brain's fallen out somewhere. I don't know where I left it. I just don't know where I left it. Okay, so I'm just estimating. I don't look for perfection ever, so that's not even. And sometimes when you turn it on the other side where you're not seeing all of that imagery, you can get a better idea. That looks better to me. Okay, you could measure, of course, if you wanted to, but I am not that person. I just moved that, so I'll be quick to adjust it. It's the beauty, again, of Fabri-Tac, is you can do that. You can move it back and be okay. So let's stick this in here. We're going to put another one in there too, I believe. But that's so pretty. I love it. I love it. That's very even. Look at that. You can tell by this part. That is right smack dab in the center. And let's go ahead and play with some of these. So I want, let's see, let's do that one and that one. And I like this guy a lot. He's really cute. And then this one. Let's do that. So I'm going to ink around these. I'm going to attach whale tail tabs, and I'll be right back. Okay, let's glue these on really quick. I am so loving this kit, this whole theme, this romance in Paris theme. As many of you know, I am a huge fan of anything French, and I'm sad about what's happened in Paris, you know, with their government and just the mayhem that has occurred. I'm not really great about geographics, so it might not be exactly that place, but I know it's that region, and it's just very, very sad that they've had so much destruction. You know, from I don't know if it's riots. I don't have regular TV. I don't have like the news. I get all my news on YouTube. I watch different channels on YouTube to get my news. So, but it's sad to me. I don't understand why people feel the need to just destroy what does not belong to them in protest. I don't understand it. Okay, so here we go. Got one more. And then I want to, I'm thinking about putting a belly band on this as well. I think that would be really cool right there on that panel. So I'll show you that again in case you didn't see my quick finger action. So there we go. One more guy. He is so dapper, isn't he? Isn't he just a dapper guy? Like, I mean, if he was blonde, that'd be my husband. Like, the day I met my husband, I was 15 years old, and he was a football player for the high school, and he had long blonde hair, like this, like shaggy long, and so handsome. Oh, so handsome. That didn't stick. That didn't stick. Okay, there we go. I will put I'll put seam binding and do my eyelets and all that. I don't need to do that on camera with you guys, but I just want to show you what these are going to look like. So one is going to go in from the front. Well, actually, let's stick them both in at the same time so I can show you what I mean. So I will take them both out because I don't want them to stick together because we could have some glue oozing. So I'm just going to do that. And they're just going to slide in there like, oh goodness gracious, like so. Okay, and they're going to stick up like that. So it doesn't matter that they're not tall enough for the pocket because the seam binding is going to hold them outside or hold them up into the top of the pocket. So those are going to go in that one, and then obviously the other two are going to go in the other pocket. So let's flip this back around and let's do a belly band. I'm feeling the belly band, and I feel like it would be cool to use this paper. So let's see if we've got any of this that we could potentially use. Oh, what was that? No, that was the map, which the map would be kind of cool as well. I must have buried that paper. Give me a second. There we go. Yeah, I think a belly band with this would be really pretty. So I'm going to do about a 2-inch belly band. So I'm just going to take 2 inches off of this. That's really pretty. And this being all inked up is going to be gorgeous. So let me just get my height correct here. Just going down to the paper, not to the envelope. Okay. Beautiful. Did I say I really like the brown on the blue? I think I have a few times. There we go. Also, our Starlink is amazing. I have the business plan, which is 40 gigabytes of priority, and I used all the priority in like 4 days of time, and I hadn't even uploaded a video yet. But even without the priority, a 50-minute video only took an hour to upload. And a 50-minute video would have taken probably 5 hours in my old world. So I am so very, very grateful. Look at that. That is Amazing. Absolutely amazing. So we're going to just put a little bit of glue on the top and the bottom to create our belly band. There we go. I'm just aiming for the center as best I can. If it's not in the center, it's not a big deal. I'm not going to cry. And if it's not straight, I'm not going to cry. So there we go. So I had this big guy that I don't know where I think I was going to stick him in here. Yes, that's what I was going to do. So I'm going to have to cut off some. But I really I talked about this dapper guy, didn't I? I do love my husband. There we go. Perfect. So let's go ahead and ink him up. Put a whale tail tab on. And then we'll find something to stick in that belly band. Whoops. My little table that I have over here with my cutter on it now has 2 shelves on the bottom. So that's where my project baskets are, my paper baskets are for the journals I'm working on, primarily focused on now, which is the boho journal and the Romance in Paris journal. Other stuff is still not far away from me at all, but it's nice to just have the baskets here so I can pull from the bulk of the digitals. So, I should have, let's see. I might have to put another one in there just to make this look cool. Make this look cool. I might do that off camera and put one more card and put the tab down towards the bottom. So that will totally work. And that's going to slide in there like that. Love it. I love it. Being careful when I pull that out that I do not move the whale tail tab. So let's see. We need to do something with this side. I'm thinking that just putting something decorative, maybe even like 3 circles. Could use these images. Let's try that. Let me find this is my 2-inch punch, which is a perfect size for something like this, because I think whoa. So that's it. So 1, 2 easily will fit on there. So let's do that. Let's just use these cards in this fashion. So there's 1. 2. Oh, I love this one. This is so romantic. So romantic. There we go. Okay, but now I think I need something to separate this. So let me get a piece of the striped paper that we used. We should have extra here. There we go. So there's a piece. Yeah, I think that would be good to separate this space as well. I just need a little strip, not maybe a 1/2 inch or so. Just like that. Just kind of gives it a little bit of a separation. You could also use some lace as well. I'm just going to mark this by hand and just cut with my scissors. I feel like I'm getting, I don't know what, as a viewer, because I sometimes watch my videos back, but lots of times I don't have the time. If it bothers you when I cut out the part where I turn to my cutter, but I feel like I do that constantly. So if that bothers you, I'd love to have some feedback on that. You know, I mean, I have to cut stuff out because my videos are always too long. It's just the way that I am. And so I want to be courteous of your time. Okay, so there we go. Let's put that there. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So I feel like I can use my white glue this time. Feeling magical right now in this split second. Could also have done a belly band here too, but you can also do a belly band with circles. which is kind of cool. It's a great scrap buster. So I'm just going to put this kind of in the middle again, just like the belly band, just aiming for the center. So see how that separates that out? It just makes it look, I just think it makes it look more interesting personally, but I'm going to ink these up. Okay, we're just going to glue them on. I'm going to aim for the center one first so that I can gauge where the other two need to go. Okay, so I'm going to line it up kind of with that tab. That's a good center point. Just going to put that right there. So pretty. I actually wanted to put the little children there, but I didn't think about that. Wanted to put them in the middle, but that's okay. Or maybe I'll put them at the top. Maybe this is a progression of the love story. Maybe that's it. Oops, got a bunch of glue here. Hold on. I don't know how that happened. I must have moved that circle. Not a big deal. Okay, last one. And I'm going to have to end the video. I will be potentially adding a little bit more, but as always, you guys can see that in the photos at the end of the video. I thank you so much for being here, for supporting me in all of my funkiness. And so I hope that you're inspired. I hope that you'll try these projects. I love, love, love to see when people try them. It makes my heart really happy. So have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.